after his mom started dating.
Can't resist a pretty girl. You know what I mean?
I'm 11. I hate girls.
Ben had to show who was really man of the house.
Yes. Excuse me. I mean, he's so uncool. Did you know he actually irons his jeans?
Morning, Ben.
My advice to you is to get rid of this guy.
Yeah, but how do I do that? The Indian guides. This Indian guide thing could be the solution to my problem.
Hey, how are you, Jack?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Picking Indian names for each other is one of the most important Indian guide rituals.
How about squatting dog?
Make sure they're the same height.
The San Francisco Chronicle says it's loads of laughs and tons of fun.
Well, it doesn't get much better than this.
It's the story of a father-to-be and the son who doesn't want him to be. Chevy Chase, Farrah Fawcett, George Wendt, and Home Improvement's Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Man of the House, rated PG.
Squatting dog? That's the best you could come up with?
I had a squirrel named Numbnuts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Chasing Chevy Chase podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Dasher from the Culture Cast, and I'm joined all the way from San Francisco, the city by the bay, Cambridge and Washans, Mark Begley.
Hey, how are ya?
And all the way from the Midwest somewhere, your friend and mine, the projection booth's own Mike White.
Why do you ask? Two dogs fucking?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, apparently this name of this podcast is too long for some people. Well, guess what? I don't care. And neither do the two other co-hosts of this show. And on this episode of the Chasing Chevy Chase podcast, we are talking about 1995's Man of the House, yet another Chevy Chase film. Yes, this film stars Chevy Chase in a starring capacity, I guess a co-starring role opposite Home Improvement's Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Good Lord. Boy, the 90s were a wild time. I was 5 years old when this movie came out.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to fucking die. Film also stars Farrah Fawcett, George Wendt, Ron Canada, who has one of the great names, and Richard Portnow, who is in The Sopranos, hilariously enough, and Art LaFleur, who plays Babe Ruth in The Sandlot. Which that's, when I think of Art LaFleur, that's what I think.
Oh, I think of him as being the boss from Trancers, Jack Death's boss from the future.
I'd like to point out once again, I was 5 years old when this movie came out.
It's never too late to watch Trancers.
I was 25 when this movie came out.
Let's see. I would have been 23.
So, Mark Begley, since you were the oldest amongst us when this film came out, and undoubtedly you saw this in theaters lined up, a line of one, what did you think of Man of the House?
Well, I saw this opening day 5 times. Opening day.
Wow.
Just stayed in my seat. Had a catheter put in and was raring to go. Just drank Pepsi all day long and sat there and peed in my ostomy bag and watched it and have loved it ever since.
Bag,
I was also saying, I think at some point you might just, if you didn't get up, you might just be drinking your own piss at this point.
No, the thigh pads act as a recycling unit.
That's
I
right.
have never seen this film before, and I don't even know if I knew this thing existed before we started this show. I knew that Jonathan Taylor Thomas had been in a few Disney films, Tom and Huck and whatever else he was in when he was super hot in the 90s because of Home Improvement, aforementioned Home Improvement. But yeah, no clue. I was absolutely surprised that Farrah Fawcett was in this film. I don't know why. It just seemed like an odd pairing, and I didn't really know that she was still doing movie acting in the 90s. So
Was she really in this film, though?
Yeah.
I mean, Home Improvement's Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Farrah Fawcett, according to the movie trailer guy. Her name is mentioned by his voice in the trailer.
I mean, one of the many issues of this film. But yeah, I had no idea what to expect other than I'm probably not going to like it all that much. And it was a whole lot of nothing. That was my main complaint. Very insipid and just like a blank. But my memories are slipping already as we talk about it. So we'll see if I remember anything by the end of the show. That's it for me.
What about you, Mike?
like Mark, I was there first day. I only saw it 4 times because it started a little bit later in the day because of the running time. No, this was the first time I saw this on Friday on Disney Plus, and this was
The best thing you could say, by the way, is this fucking thing's available on Disney Plus if you are so inclined.
Yeah. This was one of Chevy Chase's biggest hits in the 1990s, which is unbelievable. This is one of the first movies that he was in the 90s that actually made money. And I think that was all because of Jonathan Taylor Thomas. He was the star of the show. He's the Shirley Temple of the 1990s, making all these movies and actually getting a lot of people in the box, through the box office into the theater. I was pretty unfamiliar with JTT. I really never watched Home Improvement, even though it starred Detroit's own Tim Allen, who is now hiding for his life in the Hollywood Hills, or at least he was a few years ago because of the woke mob that is always after him.
You sure it wasn't those cocaine dealers he outed?
It could have been.
He ratted out.
Yeah, he did rat out some coke dealers. Yeah. I mostly knew Jonathan Taylor Thomas because I had a friend who was in a movie called The Tennis Ball Massacre 3, I believe it was called. And he played a pedophile who was obsessed with Jonathan Taylor Thomas. So he had like pictures that he was in a car and he would flip down the sun visor and he had all of these JTT pictures up there, and he would like kiss his hand and then kiss the pictures, just like, oh, I love you, JTT. And it was so creepy. He played it so well, but in a comic way. That was my experience with Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Seeing this, I mean, I really wanted to murder him through so much of this film. He's just the most obnoxious little prick in the world in this movie. And yeah, once it turns into Daniel Stern's bushwhacked at the end, I was okay with it. But until then, I was just like, oh my God, what a slog this is. Because I hate Jonathan Taylor Thomas's character. And I don't give a shit about Chevy Chase's character because it's played by Chevy Chase. And I just know he's going to be so obnoxious. And of course, he does his whole thing with, the breakfast and doesn't put the lid on the blender and then the thing's on fire and he can't just stop the blender and go over and turn off the frying pan. It's like you're a man child, just like Vern from Ernest from the Ernest films is more capable of having a life than any Chevy Chase character.
I do, in fact, know what you mean, Vern.
That's the when Ernest really becomes self-aware.
Distinguished Ernest, yeah.
Yes.
Ernest through the fourth wall. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, was anybody bigger in the 90s? Jesus H. Christ. His first film role, do you guys know what his first film role was? The Lion King.
Oh yeah. Which they pay a little homage to in here where he's no, I'm good, Chevy Chase. You do your thing with the Indian guides, who I kept thinking they were saying Indian guys through the whole time. We're the Indian guys. Yeah. Come on, how you doing? We're the Indian guys.
I mean, what a strange mix of a hilarious father-son comedy and mob witness tampering. Like,
yes,
what a fucking strange combination. And also, again, speaking to the 90s of it all, what a 90s-ism. Like, again, we had Cops and Robertsons where Chevy Chase is a man with a house and here come the cops. And in this, it's Chevy Chase is a lawyer and here come the bad guys. Like, what was it with the 90s and just like casual mobsters walking around committing just light felonies and or attempted aggravated manslaughter? I think of also, you guys remember Sinbad in House Guest? That's another one. That's another one where it's like just casual, like I believe he's like a low, like is like in debt to the mob or something. There's all these weird 90s movies that have like hints of like crime to them. And this is a children's film. This is a Disney film. Jonathan Taylor Thomas in this film, if his last name wasn't Dahmer, I'm a little disappointed. He's like a fucking sociopath in this film. He's like, I'm gonna hurt this guy because some other man hurt me. Like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
Are you gay? Like,
lot of back. Well, like, he is actually.
I mean, Jonathan Taylor Thomas isn't gay, is he?
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he came out.
Oh man.
Yeah, which was I was so surprised that that Tim Allen would even have anything to do with him because I thought he was that big of a piece of shit.
All right, this is news to me.
Yeah. That's Tim Allen's response, by the way, Mike, is not to shun him. It's just that the Tim Allen noise, the surprised Tim Allen noise. I think what's funny is the child in this film that Jonathan Taylor Thomas plays is meant to be precocious, but he comes off as deranged and like a lunatic. Like and if you knew a kid like this, you would fucking run the other way. Like he's insane. The way he treats adults is wild. The way he's like being like intentionally manipulative is pretty horrifying. And the fact that we're meant to like empathize with him as a character, I feel like is, I don't know. There's this thing where you know he's doing like the Deadpool Ryan Reynolds of it all, like the oh me of it all. And it's like you're fucking 15. It doesn't work when you're this age because it would work if you were an adult, but as like a 12 to 13-year-old kid, you just kind of come off as like manipulative and insane and be like you're being written by an adult. I don't know if there's a Bechdel test for children being written in a movie, but if there isn't, maybe it's the Jonathan Taylor Thomas test because this is a child written by an adult so clearly. Like, you know, I can't resist a pretty girl. I don't like girls. Like, yeah.
11 years old. I don't like girls. I think at 11 years old, I was very into girls, but
if you're not into girls, we know why now. So
I just Googled and it looks like there have just been rumors of him being gay forever. So I apologize. I really thought that he came out back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I apologize.
I'll just cut this part out.
Just cut this out. So then it looks like I'm just calling him gay.
No.
What the hell?
No, I'll cut all of it out.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry.
I'll just cut it around. I'll just cut around it so it sounds like you're saying Jonathan Taylor Thomas, gay.
He's so gay.
He's so gay. I was trying to think about these like other precocious children movies that came out in the 90s like this one where the kids are written so adult like and it's grating because a kid written like a kid works, a kid written like an adult or like again like a small Ryan Reynolds just doesn't work. And yeah, this like sly fucking grin that Jonathan Taylor Thomas has in every scene it's a lot. He's just too much as a character. And yeah, all I want is for Chevy Chase to like snuff him out with a fucking pillow halfway through the movie. Just be like, this kid's not worth, Farrah Fawcett's not worth it, man. Come on.
Oh yeah. I think it's Art LaFleur at one point says, oh, if he were my kid, I'd take him out to the woodshed. Like when Chevy Chase is doing that whole third person thing, explaining their relationship. And he's just like, oh yeah, I beat that kid basically. And it's like, well, okay. Maybe that's where the director got it.
What an awkward thing to do as well, where you're telling the story of your life in front of a group of adults.
In front of everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, those guys are tight now. Those guys are real tight.
George Wendt
is very tight. And his son, Norm. No.
And David Shiner, who another 90s-ism, like having a character who in no universe would they actually be able to exist this way without saying anything because he's not a mute. He's just like, he's a former circus performer. Like this guy's a real method actor. Like,
oh yeah.
He's not giving it up, guys. He's gone full native. He's gone native. Like what? Why? Like it's such a 90s-ism. There was always a character in these like 90s movies where it's like there's a one weird thing about them. Like in the Little Rascals movie, there was a kid that also didn't talk. It's like, why is this a thing? Like a character that just doesn't talk and everybody acknowledges that as normal. Like that's not normal. That's really not normal.
And then at the end of the movie, he does talk and he talks about how he's been chasing Eamon this whole time.
That's the only other thing I can think of is fucking Silent Bob. It's like, that's the only time it maybe.
Well, when it comes to this whole thing of the kid and just this empowerment, I mean, they had the whole, I don't know, it was like kids power movement kind of thing, not like a political movement, but it was just so many movies where it was like the kids are in charge and the adults are the fools. I mean, like I think the last time I really saw that was like the Frankie Muniz years with like, what was it? Big Baby or Big Boss? The one where,
Big Lie.
Big Liar, Big Liar, Fat Liar, Big Fat Liar. There we go. Yeah. But like back in the 90s, you had like Macaulay Culkin kind of really kicked it off a lot with Home Alone. I almost had Home Improvement. And then you had things like, Three Ninjas or Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, like those kind of things where the kids are the ones that are smarter than the adults. And this one is right there. And Chevy Chase plays a buffoon so much and so well, you would think it would be a natural relationship, but no, not at all.
Remember Big Girls Don't Cry, They Get Even, Mike? You remember that movie we watched together? With Griffin Dunn and David Strahan.
Yeah. Wow.
Another kid is, I saw the preview for that movie and Suburban Commando on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Secret of the Ooze VHS. And that's another one of those precocious shithead kid movie. Because it's hey, my family's crazy, aren't they? Yeah. Mixed families of the 90s, man. Crazy.
And the whole thing of the first half of the movie is just JTT being a cock blocker. I'm like, that's not endearing at all. You cannot be in charge of the relationship that your mom has.
He
I'm
fucks his
so
mom,
sorry.
doesn't he? Isn't that the point?
Who, JTT? Or
that's the whole thing. It's why are you in your mom's business?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you fucking your mom? Okay, you're not fucking your mom, so stop being weird. It's like you said, that weird child empowerment thing that just doesn't make any sense. He doesn't have any money. He doesn't have a way to pay for things. He can't even get around. So why the fuck is this kid acting like a little asshole? It's so bizarre to me because
he was traumatized.
Yeah, yeah. Anytime anybody puts their hand out of a window and waves, he has massive flashbacks. You get that Ironsides noise from Kill Bill in there.
It's you know what it reminded me of? That trope reminded me of Angels in the Outfield. I'll come back when they win the pennant. When the Angels win the pennant, I'll be back. It's that same thing where it's again or Free. Isn't Free Willy the same thing? I think Free Willy, Michael Madsen's the stepdad character in that movie, which is fucking insane. That isn't it crazy that Michael Madsen and Chevy Chase and a lot of these actors at Farrah Fawcett are in children's movies in the 90s, holding on to their relevance, if some of them were ever relevant at all in Chevy Chase's case as a film actor in the 90s. It's crazy that this movie made him money. That's how low the bar was, but also how popular Jonathan Taylor Thomas is. Good God. If you're Chevy Chase, if you're Chevy Chase, I wouldn't say how emasculating is this, but what do you call this? Being in a movie that's successful and the child actor being the one that moves the needle because you can't anymore.
Hey, how about that Ryan O'Neal cameo?
That was nice. I enjoyed that.
What? That was one of the two chuckles that the movie got out of me.
Because I thought that he and Farrah Fawcett, were they still dating or they had dated? Because the director was also going out with Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah, I don't know if they were still together or if he was just being a good guy and was like, yeah, I'll do the cameo of the loser guy that falls on the beach or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if they were still together at that time. It seemed to me like that was quite a bit earlier, but I don't know. I didn't even bother to look it up. And I don't know also if that relationship between Farrah Fawcett and the director was happening during the time of the movie or not. That might come after.
Yeah, the director and the writer, so James Orr, the director, and Jim Cruikshank, the writer, they were partners for a long time. They both worked on Tough Guys was their first movie, that one with Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas. Do you remember that one? And then they wrote the screenplay for 3 Men and a Baby, I think. Mm-hmm. And then the TV movie 14 Going on 30. Which sounds like an age swap movie.
It is. There's a film called 13 Going on 30 with Jennifer Garner.
Oh, man. I'm gonna have to.
That is a body swap movie. Yeah.
Nice. I'm going to have to watch that one now because I'm a big fan of those. They worked on.
Ruffalo's in it.
Oh, nice.
The big rep. Wow.
They worked on Mr. Destiny, the one with James Belushi. Is that right? Or is that Destiny Turns on the Radio? Or was he in both of those? Jim Belushi, that is. It's Jim Belushi in Mr. Destiny. And what else did they do together? Sister Act 2. And then they did this. And then I don't know if they continued on after this one. I think they did. They worked on one called Blowing Smoke, I guess. So.
Well, Cruikshank had to work with Orr, given that Cruikshank was not a human and was a cat. Because I swear to God, when you said Jim Cruikshank, I thought that was just a pen name for a cat that typed because it sounded with the last name like Crookshank. Come on.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's Sally Cruikshank, the animator. She made Quasi at the Quackadero, and
Excuse
she
me, I was
married.
thinking of Scrimble Shanks. Sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah,
God.
Mr. Crookshank. Yeah.
So, and in doing the research and reading about this movie, this is not a kids movie, correct?
I don't know. There was a lot of sex talk.
And
Or not,
weird,
what-
like boiling heads in acid and shit. That's just like, this is not a kids movie. And I'm asking because again, like I'm just trying to figure out the ore and the Crookshank of it all. Like the idea behind the script is what we have the world's most popular, profitable child actor, and we're going to place him opposite aging Hollywood relevant stars.
Yeah, and
Chevy
it
Chase
wasn't.
and Farrah Fawcett weren't getting people through the door at this point. That's why I'm saying, like, is this a
Right.
kids movie or was this trying to be like a kid and adult facing movie? Because it doesn't succeed in the latter. It succeeds in being a kids movie because Jonathan Taylor Thomas is, for as much as his character is a precocious little shit, he is a good child actor. Beyond being a good child actor, I don't really know because he didn't do a lot of acting past being a child actor. But as a child actor, he's pretty good. It's just his character's not written very well in this.
Yeah, I think it definitely was set to be a kids movie, and then just just we're going to cast two adults, and it really didn't matter exactly who they were. Like I don't know.
And
They could have had
be-
other people without a problem, I think.
And she's supposed to be 30 something in this. Is that what I'm gathering from his comment about her? He's like, I know women reach their sexual prime in their 30s. And I'm like, she's nowhere near 30 something in the early 90s. I mean, at least she was appropriately aged for Chevy Chase. I
That's
believe.
true.
I
I thought she was supposed to be older, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that could have just been an offhand comment from him.
Yeah.
But I'm like, are we setting her age here? Because there ain't no way she's in her 30s. But I mean, that would kind of make sense with his age because he's preteen or whatever. He's
11. I'm 11. I'm not interested in girls.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised they're just like together all of a sudden. We don't get a meet cute or anything.
It's one of those like they're already together before the movie started. This is
they aren't
relationship
though.
rest, They are though.
Right. Well, because you see her as she's a courtroom artist, and you see her drawing the younger version of Jonathan Taylor Thomas, who isn't even played by him, somebody else,
Right.
another kid. You see her sketching him, and then you see her in the courtroom, I guess years later, sketching Chevy Chase while he's
Right.
convicting the mobster that just throws that whole thing into it.
But they're already together.
It
though.
feels like they're together, but they're not living together. But it feels also like you don't just move in together. Like he should have known all of these things that are already going on. Things like, oh, we have this breakfast ritual, which I guess is another thing that, I mean, it's like you're walking on eggs around Jonathan Taylor Thomas because it's just like, oh, well, we already had this whole thing for breakfast and you ruined it by cooking this nice meal. And it's like, oh, geez, like first off, fuck off. I'm trying to do a nice thing. Second off, if he were around more, I guess he would have known that already. I don't know. It feels like he hasn't even ever spent the night, and then all of a sudden he's
Right.
moving in.
Yeah, that's part of what I'm saying is they're in the middle of a relationship. She's already tried some or whatever the voiceover explains that, and that's the whole Ryan O'Neal gag or whatever. But then they're together, but we don't. I think we needed to see them beginning their relationship because that's what it feels like. But they're already in a relationship, and we talk about missed opportunities sometimes, or how would you do this? It could have been, she keeps turning in these courtroom drawings. Why are these all of the prosecuting attorney or whatever? He's all cute or whatever in her drawings, and explain what the appeal is or do something with that, and not just all of a sudden. She's obviously been dating him for a while, but okay. We don't.
That's why I
see any of
asked:
that.
Is this movie for kids or for adults? Because if it were more for adults, it would have had something like that. That's why I was asking. Because it's like you have Farrah Fawcett and Chevy Chase. They're not nobody actors. They're even at this point. They're not like, especially at this point, they're not like they're maybe less than a decade removed from relevancy for both of them, and like relevancy in quotations is subjective as it is. So. That's why I'm asking. Like, I just like it seems like it could have been less a kid facing movie and more of a adult facing movie. And I think it would have benefited a little bit more where it's not like, I'm not saying it didn't need to be a Disney movie, but like Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Yes, Home Improvement is an ABC show, but it was not broadly a Disney show. It wasn't specifically a Disney show. Unless I'm mistaken, I don't believe it was like Disney branded.
No.
I don't think so. No.
But it was an ABC show. Like
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kids
You know,
movies
like-
in the past were way different than kids movies now, and you had a lot of more adult type stuff in there, like fucking mobsters and stuff like that.
I don't actually have any issue with it. I'm saying like I would actually just prefer if it leaned further away from the kids stuff and more just like let's acknowledge the fact that he's a teenager and not act like he's a child. You know, that's and you know, I don't know. I feel like the movie has some interesting like ideas, but it just never really executes on them very well. And you know, we really haven't talked about Chevy Chase a whole lot, but he's fine. He's believable as this character. He's like really frustrated with Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and I like that energy that he brings to that relationship because that's believable. That's more the kind of like parental figure I would believe Chevy Chase would be able to pull off, less the like loving Clark Griswold father of it all.
That makes me laugh that you are so stuck on that.
Hey, they keep putting Chevy Chase as dads in these goddamn movies. They keep doing it. It's not me. Like, you know, and now he's like the whole point of this movie is that he is a stepdad to this kid. Like that's the entire premise of this movie.
But they're not. But he's not.
It's believable.
He's a live-in boyfriend. He's a live-in boyfriend.
But he's supposed to be that.
Right.
Yeah, but why even go with that angle? That was
That's
what
the
was.
whole
I'm like,
premise of the movie.
you're not stepdad. You don't need to. Fuck him. Don't try and win this kid over. Fuck him. Just live your life. He'll either end up liking you or he won't. And
you
at
want to
some
win
point,
the kid over, you know? I mean, this is a very similar situation to what I had when I was growing up because my dad died when I was, 2 and something. And my mom ended up finding the guy that would be my stepdad when I was about 5. And then, it was very much like him trying to bond with me, basically to show my mom like he's an okay guy kind of a thing.
well, a 5-year-old is different than an
That's
11-year-old.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think this
Who's an asshole.
Yeah, this either needed to be like more he's a little bit older and more of a teenager thing, or he's a kid. Because if he's a precocious kid, I don't think it's as creepy and weird. But when he's like this teenager-y, but like teenager, but not a teenager enough where he's not John Connor. If he was like Edward Furlong's age and like that age, him being an asshole and at the arcade and kind of, just being flippant with Chevy Chase, like purely believable. But he's still a little too young to be believably flippant with adults. Like, fucking shut up. Like, you have no ability to get around on your own. You have no money. You have nothing of your own right now. You literally can't even go work. So anything that you're going and doing is being provided for by your mom, kid. Like, chill the fuck out. That's the problem with this movie in my mind is it's just you're in this weird age gap area where he is not a believable kid and he's too smart for his own good. And then with Chevy Chase has to be written as such a fucking moron that that Jonathan Taylor Thomas has his number the entire movie. And it's like, how does Chevy Chase exist then if this 11-year-old kid can have his number from the get-go?
Yeah.
He's an adult.
I don't think he has his number for the entire movie because there is the moment where JTT has ruined what's going on, like basically tortured Chevy Chase enough that he's giving up on this whole Indian guides thing. And then JTT's upstairs and he's on the phone, I guess, with his African-American friend talking about like, oh yeah, I've broken him basically, and I did all these things, and now he thinks I'm so sad, and yada yada yada. And Chevy Chase overhears that, and then he's just like, oh, now I have the upper hand. And I'm just glad that Farrah Fawcett doesn't say no, you didn't hear that, or doesn't believe the son over Chevy Chase, because it feels like she must know then what's going on. It feels like they must have had that conversation. Again, a scene like that would have been nice, but as it is. Yeah, he finally gets that upper hand, but he's still trying his best. And then when he gets run off the road or the brake lines cut, I don't know why. Well, I guess because he doesn't want to.
Yeah, that explain.
Tom
You can
fucking
explain.
loaded. convoluted. I'm gonna go and say that the reason he doesn't tell his family is, or the Farrah Fawcett and the kid is so convoluted. It makes no sense.
No, it makes absolutely no sense.
Fucking defensible plot choices in this movie.
Yeah, that was another one. Missing out on meet cute was another one in my head. But that whole thing drove me nuts. You tell them what happened.
Even if you don't know if the brake lines
my brakes went out.
Yes,
right.
there you go.
My brakes went out, and I crashed into the fucking bay. And instead of going, oh, I had car trouble,
Right.
and just fueling the fire of, oh, he's unreliable. He's just like dad. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But that brings up the point of the mob guys and how they should have been in there way more, causing way more trouble that would then put Chevy like up against Farrah Fawcett, like constantly causing problems to where she's now going, maybe he isn't, reliable. Maybe this is the same kind of situation that we had before, and constantly causing him to break promises. This is the only promise he breaks, is not getting to the kayak trip.
Right.
And then that was the other thing. They just leave. Oh, we're just going to go. I mean, you can come with. They invite Jonathan Taylor Thomas with them to the kayak trip, and he declines. And then they just leave him there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Big city.
You guys are adults. You need to take care of the child. You can't just go on your trip. Yes.
I do like how why it's in San Francisco is made readily apparent.
Is it San Francisco or Seattle?
Oh, is it Seattle? Oh, because I guess, yeah. Okay. No, you're right. Because they're sending him up to Portland. I just assumed it was San Francisco because of the hills of it all. And because I was like, well, they had to set it somewhere where there was hilly, because that's the only way the premise of what this movie, I'm sure, is considering its climax. Because you know what? I'll tell you, like that chase, not terribly shot, not terribly conceived, honestly. Like, I just think, it's such a fucking plot contrivance when they're like, and then he doesn't tell his family, like, wait a fuck.
Oh, that drove me nuts.
No, I'm with you. Like, it's indefensible. And I'm not saying that this is a good movie, but I didn't dislike this movie as much as you did, but I will not defend those kinds of plot contrivances, because that's, I mean, again, look, this is 1995, so there's no cell phones. They didn't do like he didn't call, which I would have been like, okay, this is a 1995ism, but there were still cell phones. Yes, they were, bulky and cumbersome, but they still existed. But this is just a fucking, it's a complete and utter idiotic plot. I'm trying to protect you by not telling me, where's the car? Ask the question, where's the motherfucking car? Mm-hmm. Why are you drenched from head to toe? Did you by chance go into the fucking Pacific Ocean? Where's the car? But it's idiotic. It is. It's one of the worst plot contrivances we've seen in the run of this show.
Absolutely. Like, drove me nuts. It drove me nuts.
Yeah. Well, and it's such a contrivance too, because then all of a sudden Jonathan Taylor Thomas's character turns on him, because it's like, because it's the bad dad jingle all the way, you're never there of it all. It's like, but he's not your fucking dad. A.
Right.
And then B, again, the meet the deedles of it all, like you said, Mark, there should have been the gangsters getting involved more often, and they get involved all of 2-3 times. And one of the times is so horrific that Chevy Chase doesn't tell his family. In Meet the Deedles, Robert Englund and one of the other characters cuts the brake lines of the main characters, and they go off a cliff, and they go back over the cliff in the car, and it's like downhilling, there's no brakes, and it's the same thing. But those characters are getting involved throughout the movie trying to kill them over and over again. That should have been another contrivance here, and it wouldn't have seemed so, I don't know, again, like, if it had been throughout the movie, there would have been no need for there to be a contrivance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't understand, like, the easy, that they actually made this harder on themselves. They didn't take the easy route here, which is surprising. Rarely are people who are writing films making it harder on themselves intentionally, or kind of less logical, rational storytelling, but they really went out of their way here to, like, just really make it a real lazy contrivance.
Well, because he has to end up hating him, right? And thinking that he's been proved right. So that's why they do this. But no person in their right mind would not tell them at least a version of the correct. I mean, I've got a police report
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Well, he says as much. Jonathan Taylor Thomas is like, acknowledges that when he tells him. He's like, yeah, if you had told me, I wouldn't have been upset. Like,
Mhm.
you know, and again, we have him. It also prolongs him finding out about the mobsters. It pushes that to the third act as well, because the moment he would have to tell him about the mobsters is when that kind of moment moves back in the movie too, because it's essentially in like the
Right.
like last 10 minutes
But-
of the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, but based on just the synopsis of the movie alone, I thought, oh, these guys are going to be popping up all the time because
Yeah.
that's the synopsis of the film.
Right.
Like he's not that he's on the run, but kind of he's on the run from the
You
mob
notice
guys
you
because
notice in the trailer it didn't say anything about the mob guys at all.
yeah,
Right. They had the beehive falling on the guy's head, but I was like, okay, who are these people?
who are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's completely out of context in the trailer.
Yeah. I mean, we see the mob guys kind of hanging out and they're comparing their guns and stuff while Chevy Chase and the rest of the Indian guys are doing that whole thing with the grapefruit, and Jonathan Taylor Thomas is painting into his face with that paint that won't come off, and then that embarrasses him in front of just happens to be going up against a Native American attorney the next day. So way to go. But like putting his livelihood in jeopardy because of that. And I do love it's 1995. They do bring up political correctness. So I was like, all right, okay, good, nice, very appropriate to the times.
It
Really
is
like the guy.
1995, so the Native American of it all is also very present.
Yes, though they say Indian like crazy.
Indian guys. They do.
Yeah. So that was a little like, oh yeah, we're still saying Indian here. Oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, we just see like little glimpses of the gangsters. They don't do anything. They're just talking to each other in a car. I'm like, all right, are you going to do something about this guy, or are you just going to hang out while he's having a grapefruit race and having a fairly good heart-to-heart with George Wendt? I thought George Wendt was actually really good in this movie, and if maybe he and Chevy Chase had swapped spots, it would have been a lot more interesting.
Yeah, I like George Wendt and Chevy Chase's chemistry together. They're actually, I don't know, they play an odd couple fairly well. There's a little like not John Candy specifically, but that kind of like pairing Chevy with like a shorter, fatter actor of it
With
all.
David Spade and Chris Farley kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else like that they did the fucking Carson tomahawk gag in a movie?
Oh, that was nice. Yeah.
I remember watching those Carson VHSs with my grandma back in the day and seeing the thing with the tomahawk and the nuts. And I was like, oh my God, they're just going to do it in a movie? Like, who is this for? Yeah, why is Ryan O'Neal in this movie? Who is this for? I asking the question.
The other thing that drove me nuts with the mob guys were when he crashes into the water and they follow all the way up to the thing, and then they get out of the car.
And they go, we failed. And I'm like, what?
And then he goes, let's get out of here before anybody sees us. I'm like, all these people have seen you.
Right.
What are you talking about?
And plus, if nobody's watching, shoot the guy in the fucking head.
Well, and then their big thing is it needs to look like an accident until they get to the forest, and he's got a long-range rifle. I mean, they don't use the guns, but I'm like, that's what it's set up like. Oh, I'm going to shoot him from here. I could blow him away.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess their plan all along was to kidnap them and put them in an abandoned mine that happened to be there and blow. How was that an accident, though? How does that look accidental, getting blown up? What are you talking about?
Look, everybody dance now, okay? You know it's 1995 when everybody is dancing now.
Yeah.
The music is my life.
The CNC Music Factory. Yeah.
And I'd like to point out, it wasn't just a needle drop. They played the whole fucking song.
Well, it's quite a montage because you get the arrow firing, you get the rain dance that's going on. Everybody has to dance.
That's where the tomahawk to the nuts is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's fantastic.
I love Jonathan Taylor Thomas's black friend, who is just like, look at all these stupid white people, is essentially his whole character.
Look at them co-opting another culture.
Yeah, it's honestly fucking hilarious. Like that's probably my favorite character in the movie. It's just this like the bemused black friend who's just like, what the fuck is this?
Mhm.
And by the end of the movie, he's past the ceremonial headdress by wimpy
Norm?
character.
The little kid, yeah,
Yeah.
who I thought was a girl for the longest time. I thought it was like one of those characters from Bad News Bears, where it was like, oh no, this is the girl who looks like a boy who's coming in to pitch the game and save everybody.
No. And Zachary Brown stopped acting at the age of 14 and probably went on to lead an exceedingly normal life after being in such classics as Man of the House. I will say I'm surprised, Mike, because we're going to be talking about a remake of a French film here pretty soon, that this was not somehow a remake of a French film.
It feels like it, yeah.
Because Jungle to Jungle is a remake of a French film starring Home Improvement's own Tim Allen opposite Sam Huntington of all people.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a remake of a French film. So I'm surprised that this is not a French film. You know, like a Francis Weber film that Gerard Depardieu didn't play the Chevy Chase role. Like, or not? Not Gerard Depardieu. Who's the other guy? The guy with like Pierre Richard.
Richard, yeah.
Yeah, the guy with the
I could see him. Yeah, he would be really good as the silent guy as well. But
yeah, true.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a Father's Day? Isn't that the name of one of those movies? Those Francis Weber films?
And it was remade with, of all people, Billy Crystal and Robin Williams. So one of the few I didn't make us watch, but I did watch at least the French version, which I thought was La Chèvre, the goats or something like that. Something like that. Yeah. But this does feel almost like a French remake of a film. And especially just with those, because the relationships don't feel culturally correct for our country.
Culturally incorrect relationships brought to you by the Disney Channel.
It
would explain a lot of the disconnect in the film. Because I felt disconnected the whole time. Things aren't adding up.
It's just weird to have a child being possessive of his pinup model mother.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I literally only know Farrah Fawcett from being in the red swimsuit on that poster. I mean, I've never seen Charlie's Angels, the original show.
And she famously left Charlie's Angels at the height of her popularity because she was going to go off and do all kinds of big things. Kind of like how Chevy Chase left SNL at the height of his popularity.
Yeah. It's very true.
Going to go off and do all of these important things. And we've been talking about him since then. So,
You're telling me 1995's Man of the House is not important?
Of course it's important. It's a very culturally significant film. I'm surprised that it hasn't been inducted into the Library of Congress film library,
Me too. I mean, and I was joking about the Native American of it all, or the Indian guys of it all. Return to Innocence. Is there a more 90s song that plays at the credits? Return to Innocence. Hey, hey, oh my God.
Yeah.
The 90s were like when white people reappropriated Native American culture. Every like 30 years they do it. And we're probably like right on the cusp again of it happening. But my God, I remember in the X-Files, you had all Anasazi and all the stuff oh my God. Oh, there's like a whole thing with Albert Hosteen and like code talkers and shit. Like, and it was it was like all the rage in the 90s. And here you got Return to Innocence, which was like a club song on top of everything else. But man, the co-opting of Native American culture in this film is just off the charts. Just so much.
Oh, man.
I watched those end credits for the longest time because they do that pull out and they just keep going and going and I'm like, is something going to happen? No, nothing ever happens.
I think our brains have been melted by all the end credit things of recent memory, but I stuck with it too because I thought there's going to be something at the end of this stupid thing. The other chuckle I mentioned that Ryan O'Neal bit got a chuckle out of me, but the other chuckle was actually when they hard cut to the Native American attorney. I'm like, that just had to be what happens, right? And I didn't even have to see Chevy Chase's face to know what was going on. That was beautiful.
Yeah, I really liked that actor, and I liked
Yeah.
the playing of things. Yeah, just his when he shows up, how I was like, oh boy, and then that he turns it into a joke. It's like, okay, good, thank you.
Well,
Indian Guides was a real thing. So,
yeah, I was gonna say the
yeah.
Native American of it all, like Jonathan Taylor Thomas showing up to his school with that Indian vest on, like
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like that was out of place in the 90s. Like
Yeah.
you said, Indian guys. What is this, Brooklyn? Like
The other thing, sorry, I know they're Indian guides, but I
Indian
just didn't hear
guys.
guys. Yeah.
Well, that's Indian guys.
The other thing
like
that
it.
didn't make a lot of sense to me was so you've got that whole sequence where Chevy Chase is trying to put up the teepee with the silent dude. And he says, let's make him laugh. And so by him saying that, it's obvious that they're putting on an act with all of this stuff going on. I'm like, okay, so it's not just them being stupid. They're actually like doing this whole thing. But then hard cut to Chevy Chase the next morning and the teepee hasn't been fixed. Like,
that's the
what
gag.
the fuck? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you put up this piece of shit thing. No, later on you tear it back down and you put it up the right way. Like, that was crazy.
Nope.
And just, Jonathan Taylor Thomas there being like, no, I'm not going to help. No, I'm good. It's like, fuck you, kid. Get off your fucking ass and get over and help me with this thing. And then if I'm going to do it on my own, I'm going to do it right, and put it together correctly. I mean, start him, make him laughing. And then the kid should come over and be like, no, here, I'll help out. Something like that. But instead, he like suffers for a bit.
Yeah.
I guess Chevy Chase is just so committed to the bit.
Hey, we do get a Chevy Pratt, probably one of the worst pratfalls of all of these movies when he slips on the skateboard.
Yeah, true.
Oh man, that was awful.
That looked bad. Yeah.
I can't believe that we're still trafficking in pratfalls in 1995.
Oh yeah.
So 20 years on with the pratfalls. And
apparently this movie opened. I know that he got I think he had problems with painkillers and stuff because of all those pratfalls he did. But the opening weekend that this movie came out, arrested for DUI.
Yeah.
So,
oops.
Yep.
Oopsies.
Driving in Seattle without his brakes is probably his excuse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these gangsters.
My brakes.
These gangsters who like to go into the river wearing their complete clothes and catch fish with their bare hands. What?
Yeah, bare as
That's
in
pretty
funny, Mike.
R-E, not B-E-A-R.
It's funny, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, but he's wearing he's even got his holster on. I think he's probably took his gun underwater.
It's funny.
90s mobsters were not a threat. They weren't a real threat, apparently.
That's true. Yeah.
Apparently not.
This was the Goodfellas effect, I think.
Yeah.
You mentioned all that.
Yeah.
All those movies earlier. I think it was the Goodfellas effect.
Mobsters
Look
are
at how
what?
fun these guys are. Yeah.
Well,
it was 90, wasn't it?
Like they amuse you? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
90, yeah.
So there you go.
That's
Just
very
having a
apropos.
good old time. Yeah.
That's very apropos, Begley, to think about it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
again,
collected 6 heads in a duffel bag around this point.
God in heaven.
6 heads, or was it 10
7.
heads? 7 heads? Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm almost a head short.
Isn't there fucking mobsters in Gone Fishing?
I think there are.
Good night.
And who is it that Danny Stern goes against in Bushwhacked, which this movie liberally takes from?
I have no idea. I've never seen it.
Oh, that's a classic.
Is it
Actually, it's the same year, 1995.
Oh my.
And yeah, I'm trying to remember who he goes up against because he is a criminal, if memory serves. Daniel, sorry. Is
Danny
a
to his
criminal.
friend.
Yeah. So that's right. He delivers a package to Anthony Heald, the guy that played Dr. Chilton. And I think it has something to do with FBI because John Polito plays an FBI agent. And so there's this whole thing of like, so I think Polito might actually be working for the mob or something. But yeah, so there's this whole thing over at Devil's Peak that goes on. So I watched it recently because they were covering it on We Hate Movies. And I said, this actually sounds pretty good. And it actually made me laugh a few times.
I mean, Corky Romano
John
could be
Polito.
seen as a Goodfellas effect film. Like,
Oh, totally. Yeah.
yeah, it's got the Falk,
Mm-hmm.
the Falkster. In it. God, the 90s when dads went away for cigarettes and never came back.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I was honestly expecting his dad to come back in the third act. Like that, like Waterboy style, like right at the end. Like I don't know. I again, like, wouldn't put it past this movie.
I forgot that his dad comes back in Waterboy.
Isn't it like Robert Smigel? I think it might be. Hi, Bobby, I'm your daddy. Yeah, I think it's Robert Smigel. Good Lord. God, I mean, that's the thing, though. When you have, like, that's, I guess, maybe my point is, like, Adam Sandler did those man-child movies better than the children. That was kind of always the thing about Adam Sandler's, like, as an actor, was he was essentially playing the character that these Jonathan Taylor Thomas's character is kind of edging at, which is, like, an asshole teenager. Adam Sandler was just playing an asshole man. Like, Billy Madison, he's playing, like, essentially, like, a man-child. In Little Nicky, he's a man-child. In Happy Gilmore, he has the temper of a man-child. Like those are the things I'm talking about. Like, this movie just, it can't pick what it wants to do, and in not picking what it wants to do, I don't know. This shouldn't have been a Disney movie. That's my issue. Like, Disney shouldn't have been making this movie, because the trailer leaves out the parts of this movie that are the parts that kind of, maybe that they don't work, but they're the weird parts of this movie that feel like 90s anachronistic. Like, they don't put mobsters in movies anymore like this. That's like not a thing. And if they did, you'd be like, what is this, a 90s movie? Like, that's how, like, weirdly anachronistic it is. And especially in, like, a kid's movie. Because if these were real mobsters, they would just show up to their house and kill them. Mm-hmm. Like in Jungle to Jungle. Fuck, that movie has mobsters too. Those are Russian mobsters. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. And oh God, I forget what the actor is, but he's like it's like a bigger actor, and he plays like a Russian mobster in the movie. And he's like gonna threaten to cut off Martin Short's fingers. Speaking of Martin Short being in fucking French remakes. Oh my God. What is it with that guy? Why isn't he in this movie? Why isn't Martin Short? Yeah. You could have had Martin Short in the Silent Thunder role.
Well, I was very surprised when it came to his boss, the Chevy Chase's boss. I was just like, well, Clarence Williams III, naturally. It's got to be, right? But no.
No, it was David Ogden Stiers who plays the Russian mobster in Jungle to Jungle, of all people.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, I don't know. The 90s really was just like something about the 90s and mobsters, but these are real mobsters. They'd show up, blow you away, and just move on.
It had to be an accident, though, Chris. It had to look like an accident.
Why?
Now,
if they're willing to kill him, they're willing to kill him. Like, they're walking around in public like a giant rifle. Like, what?
Chevy Chase is so accident prone anyway. Just take that whole driftwood sculpture off the wall and throw it on him.
God, Lord. Oh my God. Can we talk about the other 90s-ism of it all? Farrah Fawcett's just an artist. Yeah, sure. Welding together shovels on a fucking bike wheel. We're calling that art. Like, another 90s-ism. Like, Jesus, you can't just have, like, you're an inventor. You can't just have a normal job. Just make me think of Tales from the Dark Side. All these inventors running around. Like, what? Nobody ever made a living doing that. Come on.
Her courtroom sketches are legit, though. They look way better than, like, the who is it, Puff Daddy that just got convicted, but a lot better than, oh my gosh, some of those are like the guy that killed the that health exec, that's how awful he looks in those courtroom sketches. Yeah, the famous one of John Travolta where he looks like an animal. If you're listening to this, Google John Travolta's courtroom sketch and you will have a good time with that.
Don't you love how you can also tell the relevancy of actors, given how willing and early they're either willing and early in their career to be in a kid's movie, or late in their career willing to be in a kid's movie? Because it took John Travolta a lot longer than it did for Chevy Chase to be in a big kids movie, Old Dogs. But Chevy Chase is doing it here in the 90s, just like, again.
I thought maybe what's that called?
Who's Talking?
Look Who's Talking. Yes.
Yeah, but is that a kids movie though? Like, see what I mean? Like, that's what I'm getting at. That's what this movie should have been. Like, look, it's got a kid in it, but it's not a kids movie. Like, that's like Three Men and a Baby. Is that really a kids movie? Like,
no.
Yeah, but as a kid in it. This should have been one of those kinds of movies where it's like, it's a movie that has kids in it, but it's not necessarily a kids movie. So Disney, it's Disney though. So when you slap Disney on something in the 90s, like you haven't exactly know what your expectations are going to start angling towards.
You want all those kids whose dads have left them to have somebody to look up to or something. I don't know.
Fucking Chevy Chase is the wrong direction to go.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas is who they would be looking up to, I guess.
Yeah.
A kid who's the same age as you. Yeah. I also do love that the mobsters are effectively just like right behind them the whole time. in the woods. Like they're you think that they're following far behind, but it looks like the mobsters are like 10 feet behind them. And then the mobsters are only like maybe 50 feet away from them. Like they would hear them this whole time. Like it's just contrivances after contrivances after contrivances. Like the movie just, I don't know. It seems like they had a first 2 acts and then the third act, they were just like, what's hot now? Like, I don't know. People being out in the woods is never boring, and we can go film this in like British Columbia and it'll look fine.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure they probably were sharing similar sets with the X-Files at this point.
Oh, definitely.
Because this is like literally filmed probably like right up the road from where they're
Hollywood
filming in
North.
Vancouver. Yeah, Jesus. Was there anywhere hotter in the mid-90s than Vancouver, British Columbia to film? My God.
Mm-hmm.
So on the penultimate episode of the Chasing Chevy Chase podcast, we're going to be taking a look at Vegas Vacation.
Back to the Griswolds.
Yeah, the final Griswold vehicle starring Chevy Chase in the lead role. I have to give a lot of qualifiers because we technically already talked about Vacation, which is the last Griswold movie, but Chevy Chase is only a cameo in that one. This is the last one where he is billed on the poster, as it were. So I'm excited because that one is the one I've seen the most probably of all of them, and it's the one that nobody talks about. So I will be curious.
Never seen it.
Yeah, I'm curious what you guys are going to think, because I was actually coincidentally just in Vegas, so to see the Vegas of the 90s in Chevy Chase's through Chevy Chase's eyes should be fun. But I know you guys haven't seen it, so I'm looking forward to it. So, and yeah, that'll be the penultimate episode of the show, and then we'll round it out with the last laugh, and that'll be our final episode. So we got 2 episodes left. If we do something else, we're not sure, but thank you for joining us this far, and please join us for the next 2 episodes. Until then, where can people find you and the things you work on, Mark Begley?
You can find my 2 shows, Cambridge and with Sean and Wake Up Heavy, over on weirdingwaymedia.com.
What about you, Mike White?
Coincidentally enough, everything that I work on is available at weirdingwaymedia.com. How about you, Chris?
Same answer for me. Weirdingwaymedia.com is where you can go to find all the things that I work on. Like and rate this show on iTunes, and then rate this show on Spotify as well. And if you wouldn't mind leaving us a review on iTunes, that would help. And a nice review would be helpful. But you know what? Whatever. If you vibe with us, cool. If you don't, cool. You're not offending us either way. And guess what? We're not stopping. And we're also not going to just have you on because you have the Blu-ray of a movie. So if that's ever
I own the Blu-ray. You should bring me on.
Wow. Boy, you read it in the voice that I heard. So
just going to alienate all our listeners. That's fine.
Yeah. all 2 of them.
All 10 of them.
Yep.
All 15 of them. No, but thank you for listening, and thank you for joining us as always. And we'll catch you on the penultimate episode of the Chasing Chevy Chase podcast.